now tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. I am your boy, Joe Graham, also known as G. Once again, we are back to talk about this foolishness that's going on in our community. Hope all is well with everyone. It is Thursday. We are one day away from the weekend. Hope you had a great week. Hope you have a better weekend. One more day. I got to put up with this foolishness. Labor Day weekend coming up. Labor Day weekend. So people who are off on the weekend, most of you guys have a 3-day weekend coming up. Hope that you enjoy your weekend, but be safe, be responsible. Don't get out there and get caught up in no foolishness. But I want to thank you once again for joining me right here on WPMM Internet Radio. For The Truth with G, it's so much to talk about, but it's depressing. It's almost depressing to talk about it, but we have to have a conversation. So I want to thank you once again for tuning in. I am here every Monday, Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. You can tune in on WPMMradio.com, or you can download the app. Go to that website and download the app, WPMMradio.com app, the WPMM Radio app. It's a free app to download. You can put it on any mobile device, streaming device, tablet, computer, phone, what have you. Take it anywhere. Also, we're live on Facebook as well, so you can check the show out on Facebook. I always post these shows on Facebook after the show, so if you don't catch me during the show, during the live, you can catch me after the fact. So, and we are WPMM Radio. We're under the umbrella Change Your Horizon Media Group, LLC. We play more music right here at WPMM Radio. We play the best in R&B, jazz, neo-soul, talk, independent hip-hop, and old school music. Listen at WPMMradio.com. We're on TuneIn, where you can also tell Alexa to play WPMM. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or you can just text someone, WPMMradio.com. Just put that in the message field. All they have to do is hit the link, hit play, and they can listen to the show as well. All right, the views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to malign with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. All right, now that we got the particulars out the way. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Also, let me know you're out there. Hit a thumbs up, hit a heart, do something. Drop a comment in the comment section if you are there. But please share. Please share the video. We're going to be talking about and we're just going to have a conversation today. I really didn't do the full preparation of a show today, with all my notes and bullet points and this, that, and other, because I've been somewhat bothered. My mood is not where it needs to be, where it should be. I'm just my mental is not where it needs to be at this point in time. So I didn't go through and actually prepare line by line for this show today, because I want to have a conversation. I did just kind of jot down some topics that I want to cover today, and I want you to join in with me. Just drop your comments into the comment section in regards to the topics that we're talking about. Also, if you have topics of your own that you want to discuss or you want me to venture into, just drop those into the comment section as well. If you're listening on the app, we're not taking phone calls today, but again, go to Facebook, TTWG Graham. TTWG Graham is the Facebook page. I need to tag WPMM. I don't know if we're live on WPMM Facebook page under Jeffrey Dawson. So I need to do that, need to tag. But Yeah, if you're out there, go ahead and share. Let me know you're out there. But a couple things I do want to touch on today. Obviously, if you're living in Pensacola, you should be aware of the fact that Pensacola lost their mind. We've literally lost our mind. It's almost like we have lost our way in Pensacola with the recent uptick in violence that we are having in our community, and it's saddening. It's saddening all the things going on. We'll talk about a few of the things that's going on here as well. Also, uh, I ended last show talking about the situation with Ron DeSantis, the dumbass governor of the state of Florida. I ended the show. I gave it about 30 seconds at the end of the show, but I want to touch on that situation in regards to how Ron DeSantis is using black people to further his campaign in his presidential run, and how black people fallen into the trap, how they are falling for the what's that old saying, the banana in the tailpipe. And I'm upset with my black people there in Jacksonville that took part in these shenanigans. We'll talk about that as well. Also, I'm going to talk about, we're in football season right now. We're in football season. Football is a whole different breed of sport. It's different from your baseball and your basketball and things of that nature because of the brutality involved. But however, we don't expect brutality from our coaches. So the incident that took place in Georgia where a coach hit a player, we'll talk about that a little bit as well. Also, Hurricane Adelia did make landfall and hit made landfall in the Big Bend area of Florida, down between Tallahassee, Lake City area down there. Um, Devastation took place down there where people have been displaced, homes have been damaged, businesses have been damaged. Um, Infrastructure is in peril, and we'll get into that a little bit here and tell you why it's so important that we talk about these natural disasters, particularly here in Florida, because it can affect you even though you're not in the path of a storm, but just a storm hitting Florida can affect you in a negative way. So we'll talk about that. I'll give you more details on that here in a minute. But once again, if you're on Facebook, let's go ahead and share. Go ahead and share. Again, if you're out there, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me something, let me know you're out there. And once again, drop your comments in the comment section. Um, let's not start with the violence. Let's start with the situation in Jacksonville and with Ron DeSantis and his stunt, if you will. And all it is a political stunt that he pulled. And I'm not happy. And I'm not happy about the people that bought into his bullcrap. But if you don't know, let me a few days ago, there was a shooting in Jacksonville, Florida, where a gunman entered a Dollar General store. He was targeting black people, and he shot and killed 3 black people in the Dollar General store. Subsequently, he shot himself. Instead of facing the consequences, he decided to take the easy way out, and he shot himself after he killed those 3 people. I think he shot one person outside the store and then went inside the store and shot 2 more. Prior to him getting to that Dollar General store, he had showed up at a HBCU, which is a college, and whatever took place at the college, the security guard ended up turning around and leaving because he was going onto his college. I guess he was going to do damage on the college campus. This individual was a racist. He had ties to the neo-Nazi cult, I'll call them, if you will, white supremacy. So it's nothing short of hate crime that was committed on these 3 black individuals. And A couple days after the shooting, a day or two after the shooting, there was a vigil held in honor of those three people that were killed. DeSantis showed up at that vigil. It's still not clear if he was invited. I'm not sure of that, if he was invited or not. I know he was there. And with him being there, they gave him the opportunity to speak. So I have to assume he was invited. However, he was not met with the cheers that he normally get from his base, if you will, the usually, and that's the racist individual that support his agenda. He was met with boos and a different type of rhetoric than what he's used to. And then while he was being booed or what have you, there was my understanding, there was a member of the city council there in Jacksonville that took the mic and defended him. Now, if you was one of the idiots that invited him to this, you should have known that his presence was not going to be welcome. You should have known that the people that was there was not going to be happy to see him. So why invite this individual to a vigil for three black people that was killed by a white supremacist, by a racist? Because the governor of Florida, dumbass DeSantis, is a racist himself. But he used this particular opportunity as a political stunt, if you will. He used his opportunity to try to jumpstart his political campaign in the black community. I can guarantee you that he was not concerned about these people that died. I guarantee you he's probably more concerned about the gunman killing himself than he is killing these three individuals. But that city council person that took that mic and defended him, it just literally pissed me off. Literally pissed me off. Because those people are dead because of the rhetoric and the policies and the legislation that is being put forth by dumbass DeSantis. If dumbass DeSantis wasn't the person that he is, if he wasn't the racist that he is, if he wasn't trying to counsel black culture, if he wasn't trying to counsel black history, if he wasn't trying to run black people out of the state of Florida, if he wasn't trying to make laws to where black people can get easily locked up, if you will, if he wasn't making laws to where you can target a black person in regards to when they peacefully protesting, and all you have to do is say, I feared for my life, therefore I can kill you. If it wasn't for that type of situation and that type of rhetoric coming from the governor of the state of Florida, this individual may not have been radicalized, if you will. Because when you radicalize someone, they have to have someone to follow. They have to have a leader. They have to have someone who is putting these thoughts and ideas into their heads. Normally, in that whole process, it trickles down. So for this dumbass to be at this vigil made no sense to me. We cannot fall for the banana in the tailpipe as black people. We cannot. We have been gullible long enough. We have been submissive long enough. We have put up with the BS long enough. So if something happens within the black community and black people are harmed, by someone who doesn't like them because of the color of their skin. We need to denounce anyone who supports that ideology, that mind frame, that ideology. We need to condemn anyone. And dumbass DeSantis just happened to be one of those people. He's literally the ringleader. So why the reason I'm pissed at my black people is because we should know better. Why would we invite the head of the Klan to a vigil for black people who have been lynched by his people? Somebody explain to me why that is. Somebody please explain why that is. So I'm upset with those people. Whoever invited DeSantis there and whoever supports DeSantis, as particularly black people that support DeSantis, you are I apologize. I got distracted there. You're being naive. You're being. I can use the word ignorant in this context because ignorance means just lacking knowledge of the situation. But you're being ignorant in this situation. We cannot support the people that wants to continue to oppress us. We cannot invite the enemy to our platform. We can't not give the enemy a voice within our struggle. And that's exactly what the people of Jacksonville did. The city council, whoever was responsible for DeSantis being there, that's exactly what they did. They gave a voice to our oppressors. But again, there was 3 people shot there in Jacksonville. My condolences go out to those families. Awful situation for those people just to be in there going about their daily lives and to be gunned down and their life ended because they took a trip to the neighborhood Dollar General and their life ended because someone did not like the color of their skin. Someone didn't know these people, never interacted with these people, don't know their character, don't know their background, don't know their family situations. But this individual took their life just because of the color of their skin. And Ron DeSantis used this situation as a political boost to his campaign, thinking that by showing up at this event and then announcing, here's why it's political. Why would you show up at a vigil and announce part of your agenda at a vigil? If anything, he should not have talked about anything other than those victims and the hate that led to their death. He should not have been standing at that podium pushing a political agenda. And the black people stood by and allowed it to happen. And that pisses me off more than DeSantis being there. Because we should know better. Hey, Miss Serena. Miss Serena's joining us on Facebook. Good to see you on here, Miss Serena. Good to see you tonight. But just joining us, we're talking about the situation in Jacksonville, Florida, a few days ago, where there's 3 people shot and killed because of the color of their skin. 3 black people shot at a Dollar General. simply because they were black. Shot by a white supremacist. That's white supremacist. Uh, Subsequently took his own life. Took the cowardly way out. And dumbass DeSantis showed up at a vigil for these individuals and pushed a political agenda. And the black people stood there and allowed it to happen. He should have never been invited, but the black people allowed that to happen. That really what pissed me off the most. And you're exactly right, Ms. Rena. That's what we were sitting here talking about. The fact that he used that platform and used the death of those people to try to push his political agenda. And by him announcing he announced that there was going to be more funds sent to that HBCU that the government went to first, more funds for security measures or what have you. But if you was going to give funds to HBCU, it shouldn't have took 3 people dying to give money to a college, to a black college. Yeah, there was a lot of them that booed. The majority of the crowd that booed. My problem is with the people who invited him to be there. My problem is with that city council lady who stood there and took the mic and tried to reprimand those who booed this racist. That's who I have the problem with. That's Ron DeSantis is going to be an asshole. He's an asshole. He's going to die an asshole. We know that he's an asshole. We know that he's a racist. We know he don't like black people. We know this about Ron DeSantis. But I never expected for our black people, especially our leaders, city council people, things of that nature, to support and invite the enemy to sit at the table. Because once I said it earlier and I said it again, his policies, his legislation, his rhetoric, his push to get rid of Black history, all that leads to people getting radicalized, which leads to more hate, which leads to violence against people of color. So in my mind, DeSantis was the mastermind, was one of the masterminds behind this whole shooting. He created the environment. He helped to create the environment for this shooting. And Ms. Rena, what he gave, he supposedly had to give $1 million to that HBCU. That's what he announced. I'm willing to bet, and if I can find someone who knows how to follow the money, if you will, I'm willing to bet that money will not make its way to that HBCU. I'm just willing to bet. That's just my thoughts. I can't back that up with any type of facts. But I'm venturing to say that money will not make its way to that HBCU. So, but that's the situation. Unfortunately, that those 3 people had to die because of the color of their skin. Once again, my condolences go out to the family of those individuals, because they didn't have to die, just doing what they do on a normal day, going to a store, and they died. There's been other shootings of the same nature where people venture out just to go shopping and they don't make it back home because people hate them because of the color of their skin. And that type of bullcrap has to stop. And the only way that it stopped is for it's for white people to stop teaching your kids to hate someone just because of the color of your skin. And those kids, people aren't born racist. They're taught racism. They're groomed to be racist. They listen to what the parents say. They listen to what the grandparents say. And if they are brought up in that environment and they are brought up hearing that you should hate this black person and you shouldn't coexist with this black person. You shouldn't marry this black person. You shouldn't date this black person. You should hate this black person. Black people are ignorant, this, that, and other. And if you grow up listening to that all your life, then you're more likely going to end up being the same way. White people have the power to eliminate racism, but they choose not to. They choose not to at this point. And I'm not saying that every white person is a racist. So don't go and say, run and say, well, Gerald said all white people are racist. I didn't say all white people are racist. But there's a lot of them out there. I guarantee you that. There's a lot of them out there. So once again, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. Going to wrap that conversation up. We're going to move on to our local situation here. Our local situation. Well, before I get to the violence, I want to touch on this incident that took place a few days ago that has been in the y'all forgive me, I'm twirling stuff here. But this incident that took place, this road rage incident that has been viral on the social media, where there was a white individual that exited his vehicle and got out and confronted a black woman in the middle of the street. I've received some information in regards to what supposedly happened or whatever, but with the way things went down, regardless of how it happened, how it went down, the individual was wrong to get out of his vehicle. The individual was wrong to damage property. The individual was wrong to call that young lady the N-word. That individual was wrong to approach that lady's door in a threatening manner, saying that he'll snatch her out of that vehicle. So whatever led to that, if whatever happened in regards to this road rage incident, if that individual had stayed in his vehicle, then he wouldn't be famous. I am still looking for a name. I still want a name of that individual who exited his vehicle and assaulted that black woman. Again, I've got information supposedly of witnesses saying that, the black girl did this, that, and the other, but she never exited her vehicle. Whatever she did it from her vehicle. She never got out of her vehicle. She couldn't have done anything to him if he wouldn't have been out of his vehicle, if he wouldn't have approached her vehicle. She couldn't have done anything. So whatever she did, it's really irrelevant in the context that I'm talking about this story. But I want a name. I want to know who this individual is, because I want to expose him. I want to expose him. I want to put him out there because the video's out there, but I just need a name. So if there's anybody out there that can help me with a name on this individual, you can go to my page. I posted pictures of him. I posted the video. So if anyone knows who this individual is, just inbox me on Facebook and let me know. If you're somebody who has my personal number that knows, text me if you will. And I just need to know a name. But that's a situation where, he could have ran up on the wrong one. Because you're not going to do that to just anyone and live to tell about. Now, anybody in my circle that I'm close to, and if you're there on the streets and someone approached their vehicle in a threatening manner, using rhetoric, racial slurs, saying that they're going to harm that individual, anybody in my circle that is legal to carry, I'm telling them they need to shoot, because don't wait until it's too late, until he snatch you up. The approach itself gives you the right to use self-defense to get yourself out of that situation. But I want all the, especially particularly young ladies, I guarantee you if it had been a man in that vehicle, it would have been a whole different situation. He would have never approached him. He would have never got out of his vehicle. He did it because she was a black woman. I guarantee you. Like I said, if it was a man, he would have never exited his vehicle. He would have never approached her. I wish it would have been me. I wish it would have been me that he ran up on like that. So, but if anybody know who that individual is, again, go to my page. The picture is there. The video is there. If you know who this individual is, send me a name, inbox me, or text me if you have my personal number, because I really, really want to know who this individual is. Moving on, and I'm going to get to this violence here in a minute. I just want to touch on this football situation. It's football season, people. It's football season. You know, these kids have been going all summer. You know, if you don't know the football life, what have you, the football kids do not get a summer off. They're in practice and in workouts all summer. Trust me, I know. My son played 4 years of high school ball. He never had a summer to himself, because every summer in high school he was at practice every day. He was in the weight room. He was at workouts, whatever you. So he never just had a empty summer just to enjoy himself. And these kids, and it's hot out there. These kids work hard. So for those people who choose to coach at the little league level, at the high school level, at the college level, if you choose to coach pro level, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, a little different, because you're dealing with grown folks, if you will. Even at the college level, you're dealing with some grown folks. But particularly at the little league level, high school level, you're dealing with children. You're dealing with young adults. And if you don't know how to conduct yourself around these young people, if you don't know how to keep your hands to yourself, then you need to find something else to do. But there was a situation in Georgia, a video that went viral that caught a coach punching a kid in the stomach. And based on the video, it was a pretty powerful blow. It was a pretty powerful blow. I don't know what the situation was, what assignment this kid missed or what have you, but it did not warrant for that kid to be assaulted by that coach. That coach was arrested. I'm not sure what the situation is, if that coach is still locked up or he made bail, but I do know there was an arrest made and a charge given, because, again, he had no right to punch that individual. And I know some of the guys out there may argue or may play, try to play devil's advocate in this case and say, well, football is a tough sport, and you have to be tough to play football and this, that, and other. But you don't have to be abused. Football is not a sport that you get into to where you allow someone, whether it be a coach or a fan or what have you, to abuse you. There's a difference in being tough and being abused. I mean, I can go back in my high school days. I can go back in my football years where I seen coaches do little stuff that, really didn't sit well with me, but it never happened to me. But at that point in time, I was, 17-year-old kid in high school. And I saw it, and I just literally wrote it off as part of the culture. But again, it never happened to me. But I've coached in the little league for 20 some odd years of coaching that I spent in little leagues at several different parks, if you will. And I've seen every style of coaching that you can have. Luckily, and on the teams that I was a part of the coaching staff for, we didn't allow foolishness. We didn't allow anybody to mistreat a child. We didn't allow people to put their hands on kids. We didn't even allow anyone, as far as coach wise, to cuss at these little young kids. But I've seen a lot of coaches that has a very different style, a very aggressive style, where they literally cuss kids out like they are grown men. And that's not the way to coach. Coaching is being a role model. Coaching is being a leader. Coaching is being a mentor. Coaching is being a teacher. So if you can't fall into one of those categories, you do not need to be a coach. If you're in a category where you can't control your emotions and your feeling and your anger or whatever, where you have to put your hands on a child, then you need to find another profession. You maybe need to go into boxing or something where it's legal to put hands on each other, but not on the football field. So I know our little league, they ran into a little setback last week with the heat. Games were postponed, and because of the heat situation. But I think the kickoff is going to be this weekend, where we're going to have little league ball. The high school games have already started. But for you people out there coaching, do the right thing, be respectful, teach, mentor these kids. Don't bully these kids. Don't abuse these kids. I said it and I said it again. Now, move on. Let's move on to our local situation, because this is so depressing, and you guys just don't understand. My mental is shot. My mental capacity right now is shot, because I have so much going on in my mind, and not fortunately and unfortunately, I have to deal with issues in personal life, and then I have to deal with issues out in the community. By my own doing, if you will, I have put myself out there as a member of the community, as a voice for the community. So therefore, people look to me when they have issues in the community. They look to me when they need things or what have you. So, and with that being said, let me apologize. I do want to apologize, because people come to me, and I appreciate you guys coming to me, and I really do appreciate it, and I want you to continue to come to me, because if there's an issue that need to be addressed or what have you, and if I have the connections or the resources or what have you to either get that issue resolved or point you in the right direction to get your issue resolved, I am more than willing to do so. And there are times, and this is what I'm apologizing about, there are times where people will request things of me, and I don't deliver. I'm not going to say a lot of times, but there's quite a few times I don't deliver, and some of the requests and things that I ask of me kind of get pushed aside, not on purpose. It's because I have a lot on my plate. I have a lot to do. I have a lot to deal with, and sometimes I forget. Not that I forget about some things. If I don't write it down right at the time, I forget about it. I may run out of time doing things, what have you. But it's not on purpose. It's because I have a lot going on. You keep in mind, I do have to maintain full-time employment. I have to do the show. I have to, I got a kid in college playing college football, so I'm running with him all the time. I have a lot going on. Now, the community events that hit me left and right, and people hit me, I run out of time in the day sometimes. So sometimes it gets slightly overwhelming, if you will, and I may miss some things, but I apologize. It's not on purpose. It's because of the hectic schedule that I have of trying to get everything together. So I do want to apologize. However, right now in our community is suffering. Our community is suffering because we are in the midst of a violence spree. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, for years, you always been told that when it get hot, black people get irritated, black people want to fight this, that, and another. But you know, that's not an excuse for what we are experiencing here in our community, right here in Pensacola, Florida, Escambia County, and surrounding areas. What we are experiencing right now is unprecedented. This is something that we have not seen before. The escalation has been building. It's been building over the years. It went from where we would see, where we would have 5 homicides in a year time. Then it went to where we had 10 homicides in a year. Then it went to where we had 18 homicides in a year. And then there's 20 some homicides in a year. And now, and if you just go back and look at the last 2 weeks in Pensacola, the headlines are outrageous. The headlines are scary. If it's not a shooting, it's a stabbing. If it's not a stabbing, it's a hit and run. I mean, across the board. And I went through the gamut of the crimes that happened up until last Monday. When I was on the show Monday, I had went back over the past 3 weeks and went through the gamut of crimes that had taken place. And even since Monday, we have added more deaths. Just last night, we had a hit and run where a 60-some-year-old man was hit on Pace Boulevard, and the person that killed him fled. That's a homicide. That's a death that's caused by another individual. And that individual chose to flee instead of stop and try to render aid and save the life of somebody they may hit. Whether they was in the right or the wrong, all you had to do was stop. It's an accident. It's an accident. By fleeing, it's a homicide. And then you go to the morning this sad situation, and I'm still trying to get information. I'm still trying to get more information in regards to the investigation. Let me just recognize Miss Arenas put a comment in the comment section. She said, "City youth, it's just sad. We need some type of intervention. We definitely need intervention. However, and Miss Arena, the problem that I find in trying to get to the individuals that need that intervention, they won't come. They won't come to wherever you are. They won't come to whatever event that you're holding unless you're entertaining them or feeding them. They're not coming. If it's anything to do with something positive, more than likely they're not going to show up. So before we have that intervention, we got to come up with innovative and new ways to get them to report to the intervention. We have to, and I'll say it's hard. It's very, very hard to go into the community nowadays. Unfortunately, it can be unsafe going into some communities and trying to talk to some of these individuals that are causing all this havoc that we're having in our city. It's threatening to do so. So people aren't too quick to volunteer to go into these areas and go into these neighborhoods and try to do these interventions because of the safety factor. But if you try to hold something, and like I say, either you got to entertain them or you have to feed them. But I to get these interventions done, Ms. Serena, I challenged the event planners, if you will. You know, the people that are in our community that plan all these events. I challenge you guys to do something that is going to attract the ones that we need to do the intervention with, to bring them in, get them into an environment where they feel that we care. We care about their well-being. We care about their future, and not just entertain them, not just give them some music, some listen to, and half the time when you bring them in for entertainment, the music that they listening to and the entertainment aspect of it is talking about the same things that's happening out there on the street. It's talking about the drugs. It's talking about the money. It's talking about the killing. It's talking about all this negative stuff in the lyrics and what have you. When we bring these people into an event that's supposed to be to uplift and to inspire people, then we feed them with this negative rhetoric that's embedded in his lyrics, and we're defeating the purpose. So Miss Serena put another comment in the comment section. She said they're busy trying to make a dollar instead of investing one. And you have to invest in your community. I think you have to invest in your community. And let me shout out a couple of people that, well, let me shout out just one individual. I'm not going to start just naming names. But we have my man Willow. He decided to do something for the community. It wasn't really for the profits, if you will. When he came up with the happy hour, he just wanted a venue, if you will, where people can come and gather and fellowship with each other and enjoy themselves. And he has done a wonderful job in creating the happy hour downtown in Museum Plaza, downtown Pensacola. It don't cost a thing to go and enjoy yourself. However, he's given opportunities for other particularly Black entrepreneurs, if you will, to come out and be vendors and to sell their products or what have you. And those are the type of events that we need. It don't cost you a penny to go down there, other than whatever it's gonna cost you to pay for your gas. But events like that, and next year, I ain't told him this yet, but next year I want to kind of partner up with him on the awareness part of things, because they bring out the trucks for the health thing, and you can get checkups and this, that, and other while you're out there, and you can get information on different organizations or what have you that they bring out there. But I want to partner up with him next year just to give out information in regards to community issues. Let's create a segment. Let's create a segment where we talk about the issue, not being long and drawn out, just where it's mentioned throughout the event. Maybe set up a table or something where we give out pamphlets, information in regards to resources that our young people need for guidance or for assistance and education, things of that nature. Put some useful information out there to where these young people and their parents can have access to things that's going on in the community. Want to partner with Commissioner May. Commissioner May, just talking to Commissioner May, the county has so many resources of different things and different programs or what have you that we don't even know about. And then when we do try to get the information out there, the parents aren't pushing the kids to be involved or to get involved in these programs. But the county is full of programs that can benefit our youth. But we have to get the information out there and get the word out there. Commissioner May is one person. He's one person. There's a whole county commission there, the other individuals. Commissioner May just happened to be the only one that can relate to the Black experience, if you will. And but we need to create an environment where these people that we need to reach are able to come and get that information. We need the parents to push those individuals, because 9 times out of 10, your parents know that your child is screwing up. You know your child's screwing up. You may not want to admit it. You may not want to acknowledge it, but you know your child's screwing up. You know your child out there doing stupid shit. But you have to enforce. You have to encourage, enforce, and I'm not even going to say encourage. You have to enforce your child being involved in positive activities and not just allow them to run around and cause havoc and cause grief and lead to all this shooting. And one shooting that is tearing at my heartstrings right now, that took place a couple of days ago over at the Essex apartments. 15-year-old young lady, 15-year-old girl shot and shot at her mom, grazed the mom, and the bullet grazed the mom's head and killed the mom's fiance. That story really, 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 really pulled at my heart. And I'm trying not to give much of my opinion on this situation until I get more information. But that situation has put a damper on my week, if you will, because I'm trying to figure out, and I can speculate, but I want to know what made this 15-year-old girl lash out like that at her mother and her mother's fiance. There's obviously, with the investigation, they're not, haven't released anything. They haven't released any type of statements made by the 15-year-old. But they have charged the 15-year-old. She has been charged with murder, and she's been charged, I think, with attempted murder of the mother, if you will. I'm curious. I don't know these people. I don't know the child. I don't know the mother. I don't know the boyfriend. But I'm bothered because there's something that had to take place to push a 15-year-old girl, because normally we don't see women, we don't see girls that commit this type of act without provocation. So my concern is, what pushed this young lady to do this? What made her act out this way? Couple comments has been put in. I don't mean to miss your comments. She said parents need to get their kids back in church. I remember having junior choir anniversaries, communications to other church programs. She also said Essex apartment shooting, definitely more to the story. Yeah, I'm waiting on more information. But the bottom line is we have to get into the mind of these young people. We have to figure out where they are mentally. We have to figure out where are they going mentally. What are their aspirations for life? What is going on with them on the inside? We have to have conversations with our young people, because this young lady did not just wake up that morning and say, I'm going to shoot 2 people. She didn't. Something had to lead up to that, and it culminated in the death of one and what they're calling attempted murder of another. Ms. Atkins asks, where did she get the gun? That's a good question. You know, we have so many people below the age of 21 who are out there carrying guns. We probably have more people below the age of 21 carrying guns than we do people who are over 21 that can legally carry a gun. And the bottom line, the guns are coming from the grown folks, because the kids can't buy them. So either the kids are getting them from or buying them from the grown people, or they're stealing them from the grown people because the grown folks aren't securing their weapons like they need to. The kids are taking the parents' guns because the parents leave them unlocked or what have you. So if adults be adults, we talked about this on Monday. If adults be adults, we can cut out 90% of the foolishness that is being done by these young people. If adults would be adults and be role models and be mentors, be teachers. But this 15-year-old girl, that story has really, really bothered me. I wish I could speak to this young lady. I don't know who she is. I don't know who her people are. I don't know. I wish I had an opportunity to speak to this young lady because she just didn't wake up that morning and say, this is what I'm going to do. She didn't. Something happened. I don't know what it is. I can't put anything out there. I can't say anything that I can verify to be the truth. So I'm just keeping it at that. I'm not going deep into it, but something led to this 15-year-old girl committing the act that she did. And as the information comes out, I will be putting it out there, and we'll talk about the facts. We'll talk about the facts. We're not going to speculate. We don't do that on my show. We don't speculate. We deal with the facts. But that particular case have bothered me, even though all these shootings that have taken place have bothered me. That particular one has bothered me. And as I told you guys on Monday, one of the gunshot victims, last Wednesday, one of those gunshot victims was my brother. He was shot last Wednesday. He survived. He's still in the hospital, but he survived. So with that happening, and then all these other killings, and then this 15-year-old girl being involved in killing her mom's fiance and shooting her mom, I have to pay attention to our news because I have to pass it on to you guys, and that's what I choose to do. That seemed to be whatever God had planned for me. That seemed to be my calling, to pass on information to you guys and give you guys information and perspectives and different points of views based on the facts. So I carry a lot with me. I carry a heavy heart a lot of times. I carry a heavy heart around a lot of times because I'm so into what is going on in our community, into what's going on in our nation, in our state, to where all this negative information that is coming into my brain is like, really, why? This can't be the society that we live in 2023. That old Negro spiritual, we shall overcome. We're still singing it because we haven't overcame yet. We haven't overcame yet, and by me having to listen to the news, even listen to the naysayers, if you will, I have to pay attention to the Fox News and the Newsmax and things of that nature, because I got to know what the idiots are talking about as well. And that's to pass that information on to you. So sometimes I get a little overwhelmed. I get a little I get to where I fight with little bouts of depression here and there because of all the things that's going on, but I keep pressing forward because I feel like knowledge is the key. Knowledge is the key. The more knowledge that you have, the better you are. The more that you can make better decisions in life, what have you. And I don't know everything, never claim to know everything, and never will know everything. But I try to know enough to where I can educate the people around me and try to give solid advice and give factual information in regards to the situation. So, again, that's what I choose to do. I feel like God has called me to do this and I will continue to do it as long as I have breath in my body. Uh, Miss Serena put another comment into the comment section. She said, somehow mental issues. My son got sentenced today due to having a mental issue that went undiagnosed until his last arrest. Um, I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Serena. I can say I know what you're going through. But mental illness is real. Mental illness is real. That's a whole nother beast that we have to tackle. That's a whole nother stigma that we have to, as Black people, we have to get out of, to where, because when we start talking about mental issues, old school people think, if you have mental issues that you can beat the problem out of somebody, but that oftentimes those beating me lead to other issues. And you guys know I'm not a real advocate of hitting your children. I think there's better ways to go about it, but the mental issues that we have, and we have to stop thinking that is wrong to go and talk to someone about your issues. We have to push the fact that sometimes therapy is a must. Sometimes therapy can be the difference in doing something to be arrested and not doing something to be arrested, just based on the situation, or it can lead to being killed or staying alive. So we have to address that. That's a whole nother show, but we have to address the mental issues as well. A lot of the people that are locked up in our institutions now have mental issues. Instead of being locked up in a jail or in prison, they should be in treatment, in treatment for mental illness, but they're locked up behind bars and without receiving any type of mental health or rehabilitation or what have you, and it's just generating the problem, and is manifesting in even more type of problems, more serious problems, because there's no rehabilitation in our criminal justice system, if you will. So, but anyway, we're at the top of the hour. We're a little over the top hour. I want to thank you guys for joining me. It's time for me to get out of here. I will be headed. Son got a game this weekend, so I'm headed to Florence to watch the game. It is Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend. I'll tell you now that more than likely on Labor Day, because I probably won't be in town. There may not be a show on Monday on Labor Day. However, if I do a show, it's going to be impromptu. It's going to be it's going to be a game day decision, just depending on where I'm at. Because I'm not sure where I'll be Monday at 6:00 at this point in time. So I may try to, may or may not. But I'll pop in on Facebook here and there and give you information that you need to know. If something jumps off that you need to know, just check my Facebook page, and we're going to pass that information on to you. Appreciate you listening today, Miss Serena. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, but again, Labor Day weekend, make sure you guys stay safe, stay hydrated. It's still hot out there. Be responsible. Don't get the DUI. It's cheaper to call Uber or call a tow truck before you get in your vehicle and drive drunk and end up getting a DUI. So be responsible. Plus, we don't want to hurt anybody, or don't want you to get hurt as well. So you all be safe, and have a good holiday weekend. Enjoy yourself, people that are off work. Enjoy your days off, and I'll be back on next Thursday, 1 week from today. Monday is a question mark, so just stay tuned. I'll be informing you guys if there will be a Monday show. So, but once again, thank you for joining me. I will be back next week. Until then, you guys be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.